I'll show you in a minute what I'm doing here, but first, this hatchet is not an expensive hatchet. I got it at a hardware store, and it quite surprised me because the shape of the blade was nice. Sometimes when you look at the end, here, let me come over closer. Sometimes when you look at these cheap axes, you know, you get at the big box stores, there we go. The width of the metal here and the width of the metal here, it's not symmetrical. They're really poorly done. You know, it's heavier on one side, thinner on the other side. Obviously, it's, you know, but this one is just really nice. It's a nice piece of wood. When I look at the grain on the end, it's on a slight diagonal, but it's pretty darn good. When I'm carving, and this is a personal preference, I reprofiled this a little bit when I got it. What I've done, because I'm right-handed, on the left side of the head, I've smoothed this down, and I find that when I'm chopping it like this, if I have the bevel on both sides, it glances off. Whereas this way, because I've got a pretty, there's slight bevel there, but because it's pretty sharp, it's easier to get a nice bite in it. So then I can just, as you can see, this isn't trying to glance off like it sometimes does. This is just chipping nicely right in. You see, I'm coming from one bend and into another, so I have to come down so far. It's like very much like carving a paddle. Come down so far, then flip it around, and my hands are on the other side of this, so pretty safe here. This is going to be a large fish. What I'm going to do with this fish, and it's just the width of the 1.25 inch, 5/4 board. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it there. I use a rasp a lot, big file, wood file, rasp it along. Once I've chopped this out to a better shape, then I can rasp out all these little chop marks. I've tapered it in, as you can see on this side. Now I've got to taper in on this side, then again a front a little bit, and then I'll use the rasp to give it a nice hand. And what it's going to be is, this will be a hand grip, and this one, it's all finished, is one of the fins. My hand can go like this, and I'll have an ice fishing rod. And I've put guidelines on here. I've drawn a vertical line here, and another one here. And so this will be the width of the belly, the widest part of the fish in here. Then it's going to start tapering in to the nose a little bit at this end, and quite strongly tapering here, so that I end up with a fairly thin tail rather than that 1 3/4 or 5/4 wood. You know, I can go very flat like this. Like, I can actually run the hatchet, look at that, right down the face of the wood. It's actually just hanging there by itself. And because of that single bevel, it's not kicking out. It's just, I can shave a very thin, very flat, sheer piece, rather than having to take it out in chunks. And that gives me a lot more control. And that's because of the shape that I've made the blade. And it makes it great when you want to use it. So like this, that just works like a plane. Helps that it's good and sharp. A lot warmer indoors than outdoors. Okay, this is mostly the axe work is done. Maybe not quite. This is jack pine. Ever smell good. A lot of times I just, not sure, tick it with the tip or the heel to get into little spots. This isn't a tutorial or some kind of an instruction video on how to do this. I'm just sharing some of the things that I have fun with. So if anything, I hope that maybe you would get a bit of motivation to give it a try. This piece of wood here, jack pine, is a piece that's in the wood box, or was, and it was going to be split. It was 1.25 inches wide and more or less a jagged board left over from a cutting, and it was going to just end up being banged up for kindling probably. Have some picture in your mind what you think you might want to make, and then just hack away until you make it. Whether it's a fork or a kuksa, a spatula. Start simple. Make a spatula or something. You don't have to start with anything fancy. You're the only one you got to please. This isn't for anybody else. I have this roughed out to my approximately my pectoral walleye type shape. This isn't going to be that accurate, folks. This isn't a technical recreation or anything. This is just the way it's going to be. But you know, that's mostly what I fish for, is pickerel and pike around here, burbot or the lane cod, whichever you want to call it. So that's sort of that idea. So you get the idea of the back fin there, even the dorsal fin actually, but the back fin here is the trigger finger type thing, and that helps me hold them right like that. And I think I'll just go with the dowels on the side so that I can, so one dowel this way and one this way right in the center here, and then I can just put 20 feet of line on there or something. But anyways, that's the general shape. There's quite a bit more to do, but it's roughed out now, and I've probably I've stopped and started a couple times. From the time it was just a rough board until I got to this point, and I have, you know, I'm enjoying it, so I don't hurry in any way, shape, or form. I probably got an hour and a half into it, you know, if I really kind of added it up to 15 minutes here and 20 minutes there. But you know, the whole point is just take your time and enjoy it. It's not a race. Well, there we are. It's got the basic shape of the pickerel to it. I got it tapered front to back, and the general outline. Now I've got to highlight the dorsal fin there, put the eyes and carve out a gill and everything. But I think that's all I'm going to work on for right this minute. Casey's been helping me, and it's going to take us a few minutes to clean up our mess here. We got some wood chips all over the floor. It's a nice thing about having my den, and there's the wood stove right here about 5 feet in front of me. So all I really got to do is take a pan, sweep up all these wood chips, and I don't even have to get rid of them. They're just going to go right in the wood stove there. How you doing? You're my apprentice? You're my good boy? Okay, back up now. Come on. Out. Go and lay down. Over here. Go. Back. I suppose you can see the little bit of smoke coming off of this, but this is just a burning iron, and here, let's set this down here. This is going to be tedious, so I won't keep you for a long time. So this is the fish. As you can see, I've got my tapers in, and what I've been doing, I decided since this is going to be something I'm going to use outside, I don't really want to spend a great deal of time doing a lot of intricate carving, because you know, it's just going to be out in the weather. It will eventually just deteriorate. So what I did was I took my wood burning iron and I put the scales on that way. So let's see if I can get that a little closer for you. There we go. That's my apprentice. He's trying to be helpful here. Okay, buddy, you gotta go. Now I'm working on the other side. Timber, stop. And I'm going to have the, I left a little gap here because that's where the, okay, you got to go. Come on, go lay down. Over here, go. That's where the two pins are going to be, the dowels, where I'm going to just coil up my line. So basically this is it. It's kind of tedious, so I'm not going to, you know, have you on here for the next hour while I burn little loops in here. But that's how it works. I think everybody knows how you just drill a couple holes and punch a couple dowels in there, so that's not exactly special either. So this is basically the finish. The only thing I have left to do after I finish burning this last little bit here would be just a little bit of sanding, and I'll probably put a coat of some kind of a stain sealer on it, I don't have anything. I was hoping to have something a very, very fine, thin, translucent greenish color, but I don't have anything here that's like that. I don't know that I really want to put brown on it. It's not natural. Maybe just a clear. It will darken, you know, as it ages in the sun. So, but anyways, essentially it's finished. That's what it looks like. A little bit of sanding and a coat of clear on it, more than likely. And that's all you got to do. You know, it's just a fun project. You know, I might have a couple of hours in it in total, thereabouts. It's going to be something that I can take out and use. I can hold on to it. There'll be some 25 feet of line on here. We're good to go. I still haven't decided if I'm going to drill in the end here. I think I'm going to just put a little drill in there, just back maybe a half, 3/4 of an inch, and then have a short piece of fishing rod. I think I have a fishing rod with a broken tip. I'm going to take that tip and I'll put it out here, and it just gives me an opportunity to cast a little bit if I have some open water near the edge of the ice, where I probably shouldn't be, and also just gives me a little eyelet on the end. So I want to thank you very much for coming along with me. This is the kind of thing I do on a blustery, wintry day when it's too cold or just miserable to go outside. And the next project, I have a lot of projects to build this year. It's going to be a busy year for me. One of the next projects is a paddle for the canoe that I built, and also I have to make a hoist for the back of the little trailer that goes behind my four-wheeler, because I'm finding as I get older it's a bit harder for me to you know, to take 400-pound bears and lift them into the back of the trailer. That's just getting to be a bit tiresome. So I need to make some kind of a lift that's going to help me do that. So those things will be coming up, and we're also going to go out into the forest. I'm going to change up one of my bear hunting locations. I've never hunted there before, but you know, and it's pretty tough remote location. So I think what I'm going to do is build a little cabin there. Not a cabin, but just a fairly sturdy shelter. Sturdy only because I want it to last probably for a few years of use. And that's going to be about it. So lots of things coming up. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. If you know anybody who might like these types of things, please share it with them. And we'll see you the next time. Have a great day.